Hello and welcome to Ad4 News Update. I am Merciful Ajinamo. Nigeria has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Sasakawa Africa Association to tackle the problem of post-harvest losses and other concerns in the agricultural sector. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sabo Nanono, acknowledged this in a statement signed by the ministry's Director of Information, Theodore Ogezechi, in Abuja. The minister noted that the collaboration with Sasakawa would focus on transfer of appropriately tested and acceptable technological package on selected agricultural commodity value chain. The executive director, Nippon Foundation, Ichiro Kabasawa, said that the organization would lead in influencing inclusive transformation of agriculture in Africa. Ambassador of Finland to Nigeria, Yikir Pulkinen, has disclosed that Nigeria and Finland are working together towards making Nigeria's education system better. The ambassador disclosed this while answering questions from journalists in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. He said the two countries have reached an understanding to work together in the areas of special education and inclusive education. Other areas of cooperation are teacher education and skills education to help give young people proper skills that will enable them work and earn a living.
We had a discussion with the minister actually that what we can do in order to get also some exchange between our countries on education sector at the highest level. Of course, that we would like to facilitate visits to Finland and from Finland to here, and also in the expert level we would like to somehow get more involved in education business. But also, although we have a kind of private, public education system, we have many companies that are facilitating and providing services for the public education system, and those companies are more than happy to do business also and help the education system of Nigeria to be developed further.
Nigeria's ambassador to the Netherlands, Oji Ngofa, says the upcoming visit to Nigeria by the Netherlands Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, is an opportunity to attract more Dutch investment to Nigeria, principally in the manufacturing and agricultural sectors. Ngofa told pressmen in Abuja that Prime Minister Rutte will begin a working visit to Nigeria this week. He said the Prime Minister is visiting with a trade delegation made up of several chief executive officers of Dutch multinationals already investing in Nigeria, as well as prospective investors.
This visit affords us the opportunity to assess the state of our bilateral relations, which I believe is so cordial, and also look at all the areas that we have agreed to partner and cooperate for mutual benefit, to see how far we have gone. And having this visit at this level, for me, is very gratifying. It's the best thing to happen to us as a country. Like I said, the Dutch has a very powerful and competitive economy. They are the second largest producers of food and agricultural products in Nigeria. They have very high innovation and technology, especially in the areas of agriculture, which we can leverage on.
The United Nations Development Programme report on migration and voices of irregular migrants to Europe says Nigeria has the highest percentage of irregular migrants. Ad4 TV Radio's Christina John has more.
The report, titled Scaling Fences, Irregular Migrants to Europe, shows that as a result of irregular migration, over 2,000 migrants from 2014 to 2018 have died in the most inhumane conditions. Abike Dabiri-Erewa, Senior Special Assistant to Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, spoke on trying to rescue an irregular migrant whose organ was harvested illegally.
How make it practical? Reverse migration means what you're going to do there, we can actually provide it for you here. So I think it breaks my heart. This is one of the things that really touches me, because I mingle with them a lot. Just yesterday, one girl called me from Oman and said, I'm in a room here. I had a surgery. I know I'm going to die. She went there to work as a housemaid, and she's been locked up somewhere. But I know that through IOM we'll get her back.
UNDP resident representative Mohammed Yahya noted that migration is a global challenge that can never stop.
Young people who everybody talks about, but nobody talks to. So this report is bringing their voices through data and providing evidence to policymakers and governments to be able to make decisions about who's migrating and why they're migrating. From an African perspective and from a Nigerian perspective, essentially this is a story of young people that Nigeria has invested in.
A representative of the EU delegation to Nigeria, Ketel Carson, said that global efforts should be geared towards promoting and encouraging regular migration. He disclosed that the EU and their Nigerian partners are working hard to initiate policies that discourage and curb irregular migration. According to him, the EU is looking forward to improved synergy between Europe and Africa on how the problem of irregular migration can be tackled.
In dealing with migration, we need to find, as I said, a common understanding. And I think that common understanding takes engaging both from Europe and from Africa in general and Nigeria in particular as well. And we have for quite some time engaged in negotiations on migration and mobility. We have not yet found the perfect way forward on that, but we are still hopeful that we will see a joint way forward and a common understanding, because it will only be a win-win situation for all if we are to find a recipe on how better to handle irregular migration.
Also, Nigerian's Vice President Yemi Osibanjo, who was represented by the Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, spoke about the ills and dangers of irregular migration.
Who right now, as we speak here, are on the high seas, across the deserts, trying to get over to Europe and other parts. And those that are out there already, the large sort of our productive youth, this, for me, becomes very personal. Because you look at the sheer size of our youth in this country, over 60 million, the question then is, what is the compelling reason for them to leave this country?
United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed explained the need for governments on the continent to complete projects initiated by their predecessors.
The executive will come with a plan, they will come with a vision, but when you take an appropriation to the Parliament, they need to be asking the questions of whether those investments being made will have a result in the lives of young people. There needs to be an understanding that the frameworks that we're using there are not just the plan of the day, but are the plan of the future.
Christiana John, reporting for AD4 TV Radio News, Abuja.
Experts have said the prevention of violence against women and sexual assault involves taking action concerning social norms, with the media having a major part to play in shaping these customs. This was disclosed at the launch of Media Against Sexual Violence, a program organized by the Hazy Health Initiative at its office in Lagos, Nigeria, in partnership with the United States Consulate in Lagos and other non-governmental organizations. Executive Director of Hazy Health Initiative, Rhoda Robinson, said the media is expected to play a key role when it comes to the campaign to eradicate sexual harassment and other forms of violence against women and children. Also speaking, the Executive Director of Development Communication Network, Akim Jumo, stressed that the media should endeavor to disseminate accurate information on sexual assault that is free of sexism, prejudice, and sensationalism. In a related development, the Commonwealth of Nations has announced the launch of a partnership to reduce domestic violence in its 53 member countries. The partnership was launched at an event hosted at the Commonwealth headquarters in London to mark the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. It is meant to help member countries record accurate data on the prevalence of violence against women and provide awareness resources. Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Patricia Scotland, said the Memorandum of Understanding has been signed with the No More Foundation to end violence. She remarked that the foundation is a global movement of 1,400 allied organizations and 40 international chapters, jointly working to end domestic violence and sexual assault. Nearly 56 people have died in landslides caused by torrential rainfall in Kenya's West Pokot region. Hundreds of families have been displaced and are sheltering in churches, schools, and desperately need food, water, and other essential supplies. 30 people are still missing as weather experts in East Africa are warning of a continued heavy downpour that could bring more destruction, particularly in landslide-prone areas. That's it, an AD4 News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. You can join the conversation on our website at www.ad4tvradio.com. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page at AD4TV Radio. Follow us on our social media handles at AD4TV Radio on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Many thanks for watching. I am Merciful Ajinomo.